One thing I really want to learn while hiking Te Araroa is how to become a little bit more go with the flow. I'm the type of person that usually has multiple spreadsheets and to-do lists, so sometimes I get anxious and maybe a little bit irritated when things don't always go the way I was expecting them to. I've also never really been that spontaneous, so those are a couple things about myself that I've always really wanted to work on. And although we'd only been walking for like 6 of the 16 days we were up north, Te Araroa has already given me my first lesson in going with the flow. Our drive up to Northland was long and it rained pretty much the whole time. Once we got there, we stayed at a really nice B&B on an avocado orchard, and the next day we were treated to sunshine and avos from our B&B host for our first day on Te Araroa. Day 3 was definitely the hardest. At 30k, it was the longest day we'd walked on trail so far, and it rained pretty much the whole time. And this is the day I got heaps of blisters. Mum and I got to the campground last and in the rain, so we were pretty desperate for a cabin or a room in the lodge. This is when we met a really cool lady called Pip, and she offered us a bed each in the cabin that she'd booked. Settling into the cabin, I self-medicated my very blistered and bleeding feet. And a huge thank you to the campground host Gabby for her hospitality and the chocolate which I ate in the hot showers. It was pretty much heaven after coming off 90 Mile Beach. We did consider taking a 0-day here, but the next morning I plastered up my feet, really determined to make it to the next campsite. Made it to the Ngāpai Holiday Park. I was treated to the Te Araroa foot spa, which was a tub and some Dettol to soak my feet in. After our night at Ngāpai Holiday Park, we then hobbled on to Ahipara, where our first resupply box and the promise of fish and chips was waiting. With swollen feet and puffy faces, we were feeling pretty sorry for ourselves, so we decided to have a rest day at the Ahipara Holiday Park to figure out our next moves. During our last day on the beach, Mum sprained her foot really badly and my blisters were still really sore, deciding that we were definitely not fit enough to tramp through the northern forests. We took a taxi and then a bus to Kirikiri, where we stayed at my uncle's place for about 5 days. During our time off trail, my blisters pretty much healed completely, but unfortunately Mum's foot did not, and Bryny suffered from a knee injury. But after 5 days, Mum and Bryny were feeling ready to hit the trail again, so we started again across farmland and along the Kirikiri River to the Kirikiri Holiday Park. was a really slow day for us. With Mum's foot injury, we were walking about 2k an hour. So once we got to the holiday park, we decided it would be a better idea for us to bus to Paihia the next day rather than walk that section. And here I am, back home in Hamilton now. So after spending a couple nights in Paihia, we decided to bus back home for a few reasons. Firstly, Mum, who was only ever going to walk a section of Te Araroa with us from the Cape to Paihia anyway, we decided to come home earlier with her because she was really struggling to walk. Her foot sprain was not getting any better, and since we've been home she's gone to the doctors and she's ended up in a moon boot. She's had to have an x-ray and an ultrasound, so we're just waiting to hear back to figure out what's gone on there. So that's one reason we decided to come home a bit earlier. And Bryny's knee injury was also not improving. He was still in a bit of pain when he was walking, and he's actually had this knee injury previously. Bryny's already completed the Te Araroa section from the Cape to Paihia in 2019, and he had to come home early with the same knee injury, so a little bit of deja vu there for him, I think. So we wanted to come back home before that sort of got any worse, and get his knee sorted before we hit the trail again. So he's been doing physio exercises and he has a really nice new knee brace, so we're hoping that's going to be supportive enough for him. And another reason was we had a closer look at the map and the trail notes, and we knew that there would be a lot of road walking pretty much from Paihia to Hamilton because of track closures and just the nature of the track walking through Auckland. But I don't think we really realised how much road walking there really would be. So Bryny looked at it and he worked it all out, and I think he said from Paihia to Hamilton, I'm not sure, there was like 280 k's of road walking sections, and we're thinking that the hard sand on 90 Mile Beach really impacted Bryny's knee, and of course the road walking sections wouldn't be any easier. So that was one reason we decided to skip ahead, and also because we did want to avoid those road walking sections as much as possible. We met heaps of hikers who would hitchhike, and good on them, as soon as they hit the road walking sections. We met some that would hop on a bus or a shuttle, and we even met a couple hikers in Paihia who were hiring a car to skip those road walking sections, which I think is fair enough. Yeah, we never really set out to do Te Araroa to walk on the road sections, but we did really want to walk the whole track, north to south, all the steps, all at once, all in one go. But yeah, I don't know. So we felt a little guilty about it, about skipping those road walking sections, and also the northern forests, but I just couldn't with the state that my feet were in. So our current plan is just to go from Huntly when we're all sorted and complete the rest of the Te Araroa trail, and hopefully at the end come back up north, do those sections we missed, and yeah, the section from like Paihia to Hamilton as well. But we'll see. Yeah, we did feel a bit guilty about it, but everyone is going to have a different experience on trail, and you sort of think, well duh, of course they are, but it's not really until you get there and you speak to other hikers that you learn how different everyone's plans are. So yeah, we did have those expectations for ourselves that we'd be able to do it all at once, but obviously when you hit the trail, reality sort of hits you. So yeah, try not to feel too bad about doing it a bit differently from other hikers. So yeah, we've got a couple weeks at home to sort out Bryny's knee and our gear, and then we'll be setting off again. So since we've been home, I have upgraded a few pieces. I've upgraded my socks. I think one of the reasons I got really bad blisters on the balls of my feet were perhaps my socks are a bit old and thin. So I upgraded to these guys. They're meant to be really thick, heavy duty merino socks, and also quick dry, so hopefully these work out for me. And then I got the Injinji I think that's how you say them. I got the toe socks. Well, these ones are just the liners to hopefully stop that rubbing in between my toes. Bryny had these down 90 Mile Beach and he didn't get any blisters, so fingers and toes crossed that these work out for me. The rest of my gear's been going fine. One day I would really love to upgrade my pack to have something with those external like stretchy side pockets. I've seen so many people putting like big 2-litre water bottles in there with their filters screwed on top. Oh my gosh, I wish I could do that. It seems so much easier. One night Mum and Bryny spent ages filtering the water with the soy squeeze into the water bladders, and I think just being able to screw the water filter on top of a water bottle would be so much easier. So yeah, maybe not for this trip, but hopefully for future ones. Those are a few upgrades that I'd like to make. So yeah, that's all my updates. Definitely a big lesson in going with the flow, having to change our plans on the go, but this is where we're at now. So hopefully I'll have some more videos in a few months time, because we're definitely making it to Bluff. Yeah, so that's all for me. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.